So I've marked my centre. This is a 7.5mm drill bit. So that's deep enough. The reason for using this is that if I want to get, I can get the maximum number out of here. If I put a faceplate on there, I'm going to lose where the screws go. Get this mounted on here. So this is only roughly cut with a chainsaw. If you're doing pieces this big, they mostly will be done in this fashion. So this bowl blank is 13.5 inches or 340mm approximately diameter, and it is 6 inches deep or 150mm deep. So when you're mounting a piece like this, you want to get the best grip you possibly can. So a nice wide foot on here. I'm using a Vicmark chuck. The standard jaws aren't big enough, so I'm going to change them over to the what they call 120mm, 128mm. They're actually 110 internal. The spigot you create is about 110mm as against 48 on these jaws. So you want a nice wide grip on there. So I'm going to swap these jaws over. So I've now got the large dovetail jaws on the chuck, and I'm going to measure the diameter of them and prescribe a circle on the bottom of the bowl and then create a spigot. The temptation quite a lot of the time is to use the standard jaws and put a recess in the bottom. This isn't as safe as gripping a spigot. A recess is always, you're pushing the wood apart rather than pulling it together. If there are any faults in it and you over tighten the chuck, you can force the piece apart. So using these jaws, which as I said are 116mm, where they prescribe a perfect circle, and you can check that by just running your finger around the inside of them. And if they don't grab on the corners, you've got a perfect circle. Now what I'm going to do is I'm not going to measure that because I want to create a deeper spigot on this piece. So I'm going to open them up a little bit, like one turn, and then measure the diameter of the jaws there. Now the reason for doing that is I'm not actually measuring the diameter here. I want the diameter down here. So I am measuring, opening the chuck up a bit and then opening these up, and I will use that to describe the mark on the bottom of the bowl. So this leg is just going to scribe and the other one is just looking at it. So I'm just looking for the mark. That's it there. So a bit of pressure and that's spot on. That's perfect there. So there I've got that mark there. That is my, in there is my the diameter of the spigot that I want. So I've got close up to that line. And now I can continue with the outside shape of the bowl. I'll actually come back and finish this spigot off, but I just wanted to set it up at this stage. Now that the back of the bowl is finished, I can concentrate on making the spigot. And for that I'm going to use a dedicated scraper that is ground so it's exactly the same shape as the dovetail of the jaws, or same angle. So it's a 77-degree angle, which is what the dovetail is on Vicmark jaws. So the long face here I'm lining up at right angles to the bed. bedways, and I'm going to create a spigot. I've got my diameter marked there. I've got the tool rest below center. And rather than try and do this in one go, I am just taking my time, letting the tool do the work, and creating that spigot. Now the beauty of starting on a screw chuck is that I can check the chuck, check the spigot. So I can take the chuck, make sure there's no shavings in there, put it on, and then check what it's like. That's almost freely spinning there. I want it so that it's just a fraction smaller on there, so that is the chuck can spin freely on it, and all I've got to do is just less than a quarter turn to do it up. So I want to take a little bit more off this, just a fraction. So I'm just going to slide down that face. If you cut with the point, you're going to get it's going to be a lot cleaner than if you just push it straight at the. So if I was just to push that down there and try and cut this face here, it's not going to be as effective as just sliding down that face and taking a tiny little step off. So let's try that again. Now I've got a big foot on this because that's perfect. That is perfect, and then if I come back overhead, it is less than a quarter of a turn, and that's tight. That's not going any further. Just check the other side. So now I will pull that back a bit for you. Now you can see when I start that up, that chuck is running very, very true. There's no run out on that at all because I've got a very, very accurate spigot there, and it's also very strong because I'm gripping the whole piece of the whole spigot. I'm not crushing it. Those jaws are just touching all the way around there. They're not. The corners aren't digging in and breaking this away. So it's a perfect circle there that is ideal for what we want to do. Now I'm going to carve 3 feet on this later on, so I've got a fairly heavy foot on there, and I will probably return this and put 3 feet on this rather than just taking that foot all the way off when I come to reverse turn it.